It all started when I was about 10 years old with a picture. I was drawing this picture of this dragon. As I was developing other characters and creatures, you know, the Chituckians and the Wolfmen, I needed a place for them all to live together. And so I created this magical world that I called Chaisson.
As long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be an artist or storyteller of one kind or other. When I was 11, I started animating.
Let's get him, Qui-Gon! You said it, everyone!
But I kept at it, year by year, hour by hour, frame by frame. Eventually, Lego figures started being replaced by clay figures, until I finally said farewell to all my Lego figures and went solely claymation. With animation, your imagination was the only limit to what you could create. Just about anything was achievable if you had the time and the patience to make it happen.
Kevin started experimenting and playing around with claymation. I said, hey Kevin, why don't you make a claymation movie of Chaisson?
And I said, no, 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 it's not nearly good enough for that. Several years later, Rise of the Zerad was in the works. I pitched the idea to my screenwriting friends. We brainstormed together, we came up with the ideas.
Myself and David Hoffman and Kevin sat down at the school cafeteria and just hashed out the story over lunch one day.
I was originally really attracted to the Chaisson universe because I thought that it did a really good job of mixing those sort of classic high fantasy Tolkien-esque elements, and yet it also had a lot of original aspects to it, and a lot of things in fantasy that I just hadn't seen before.
Kevin and his brother Brian really have delved deep into coming up with a great mythology for this world.
I knew that one of the most difficult aspects of the film would be the Zerad themselves.
The Zerad are these really creepy lizard things that I think live deep in the psyche of Kevin.
One thing I actually liked the most is that even though there were three of them, they were also very individualistic.
Creating a force of evil in a claymation setting was going to be a very, very difficult challenge that very few people had done before. A lot of time and effort was put into their character design, their sound design, and I think they turned out pretty well. The process of animation is incredibly painstaking. This film was shot in 15 frames per second, so every second, every character is moving at least 15 times. I average about an hour of work for every second of footage I produce, and there are some scenes that have more than 60 characters in them, and those will obviously take a lot more time. It took about 8 months of working 10 hours a day, 6 days a week to animate the entire film.
Behold, the hidden fortress.
That'll do nicely.
After the animation was done, we moved on to sound design.
Animation is a sound designer's dream because you get to build the soundscape from the foundation up. The first thing we do with sound is we go and collect sound effects. We grabbed random objects off the shelf and created random sounds that were used in various scenes. We were able to get in the dirt pit. Kevin rolled around.
Are we good?
For the army sequences, we got men across campus who came in and yelled, screamed, ran, jumped, all kinds of sounds of just like a generic army movement in a fight or a battle. Creature design was one of my biggest projects. I did pretty much all the creatures' voices from the ground up. Gadrax was largely vocal from our actor Steve Hahn, who was able to do a wide variety of unique sounds and stuff from his vocal cords. The other creatures were created from a wide variety of animals: beluga whales, tigers, lions, monkeys, all kinds of stuff. After the effects and voices, we did all the music for the film.
One of the greatest challenges going into this was finding sort of the right pocket of epicness. One of the main principles I went on was key moments. Generally just having the music serve as underscoring, but highlighting certain things, highlighting certain actions. I was very glad that the director was pleased with the Zerad theme. I thought that was a little creepy.
At the premiere, I'm sitting there in the dark theater and the words Chaisson come up on the screen and everyone cheers. I just felt this is what I've been waiting for years. And everyone loves it.
There are a few feelings like having a character or a creature or a place in your mind for 4, 5, 6 years and then finally see it come to life for everyone else to see and say, ah, yes, that's it, that's exactly how it's supposed to be.
Lizards and wolves and stuff made out of clay that are cutting each other's heads off. It's hard not to enjoy it.
The thing with fantasy is it can still connect very deeply with people because you can still have characters that act like real people.
I believe myth has the ability to tap into people's deeper desires and longings and make them see the world in a new and fresh way and ask deep questions that perhaps they never would have thought of otherwise.
Chaisson serves as a really good mirror for our world, and seeing a lot of what is happening there helps us to understand better what's happening in our own world.
I'm very proud of where it's gone, and I hope we can maybe do another one.